All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a question today that sounds, well, almost too simple. What exactly is a Buddha? I mean, we all use the word, right? But the original answer, wow, it's so much deeper and honestly, a lot stranger than you might think. So let's get into it. This exact question was actually asked a long, long time ago by the great deity Brahma. He went up to the Buddha and basically said, look, we get it. From you, we get the teachings, and from the teachings, we get the community. But what does the word Buddha itself really mean? What are we actually talking about here? And the Buddha's response? He said, nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. Instead, he just sat there, and this incredible, majestic, violet gold light just emanated from him. In that single moment, it said that all the qualities of every Buddha were right there, present in his form. He wasn't giving an answer, he was the answer. A living, breathing demonstration of the very thing Brahma was asking about.
Okay, so before we can even begin to understand what a Buddha is, we've got to first tear down the easy answers, all those convenient labels we've probably learned.
No, if you've studied any Buddhism, you have for sure heard of the Trikaya, the three bodies doctrine. First, you've got the Dharmakaya, the formless body of truth itself. Then there's the Sambhogakaya, this radiant body of pure bliss. And finally, the Nirmanakaya, which is the physical body that actually appears in the world, like Siddhartha. This is the standard textbook answer. But as we're about to find out, it's not the real one. So, after the Buddha's powerful silence, a totally confused Brahma turns to the disciple Kashyapa, looking for some kind of explanation. And Kashyapa, he just immediately dismisses the whole thing. He says those three bodies, they're just convenient labels. They're useful tools, concepts we made up to help us understand, but they are not the reality itself.
And then Kashyapa hits Brahma with this just devastating question. He asks, this Buddha right here, sitting in front of you, glowing with light, is he one of those three bodies or not? And what could Brahma say? Nothing. He was completely speechless. The labels just broke down. They didn't work. So what was he actually seeing?
And this is where we really get to the heart of it all. We're moving past those convenient names, past the labels, and towards the actual reality that the Buddha was showing everyone with his silence. Kashyapa explains that what Brahma was witnessing was the true Tathagata. Now, this isn't just another category or another label. Look at how it's defined. It's the reality that's just there when all the names and all the concepts we have just fall away. It's something you meet, face to face. It's not something you can just think about.
And this is absolutely the crucial point. You cannot think your way to this. It's not an intellectual puzzle you can solve. Trying to wrap your head around it is kind of like trying to grab a handful of water. The very act of closing your hand is what makes you lose it.
So how do you get it then? Well, Kashyapa says it's met with inconceivable knowing. And here's the most mind-blowing part of his whole teaching. This knowing isn't something you have to go out and get. It's not a skill you learn. It's already, right now, completely inherent within you. You already have everything you need to see reality as it is. Which, of course, brings up a really obvious question, right? If this true Buddha is always here, and we already have the ability to know it, then why on earth don't we see it? What's going on?
The problem, the big obstacle, is what's called beginningless ignorance. Now, this has nothing to do with being unintelligent or uneducated. It's a really deep, deep habit of our minds. It's our automatic reflex to just constantly slice and dice reality, labeling things good, bad, me, you. We're always thinking about our experience instead of just experiencing it. Yeah, this slide lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got our normal conceptual mind. It's always busy, always labeling, always dividing, always chattering away. That's our default setting. But on the other side is true knowing. And what is it? It's silent. It doesn't divide the world into pieces. It just witnesses everything whole as it is. Our habit is just so strong that even when the true Buddha is sitting right there in front of us, our conceptual mind is just too busy making noise to even notice. And Kashyapa gives a really stark warning here. He basically says that you can become an expert. You can master every single scripture ever written, but that can actually become your biggest problem. Because if you don't recognize this unnameable true Buddha, all of that learning is just the foolishness of knowledge. It's a giant wall of concepts that's hiding the very reality you're looking for. So that brings us to our final section, and a really powerful metaphor that just ties this whole thing together, the huge mistake we all tend to make.
So think about it like this. All the teachings, the scriptures, every single doctrine, even the word Buddha itself, they're just a map that's supposed to lead you to a gold mine. And what's the gold mine? It's the direct, unfiltered experience of reality. That's the true Buddha. The huge error, the foolishness of knowledge, is when we totally forget about the gold and we just start worshiping the map. We spend all our time analyzing the paper, admiring the pretty drawings, arguing about who drew it. And all the while, the actual treasure is just sitting there, waiting to be found.
And this unnameable quality, it's not just true for a Buddha. It's the true nature of, well, everything. The teachings themselves, nirvana, you and me, even things that we think of as total opposites. When you get right down to it, delusion and enlightenment, even demons and Buddhas, they all come from this same silent, aware reality that is totally beyond any label we could ever put on it.
And so, here we are, right back where we started. The deepest meaning of Buddha: you can't say it, you can't write it down, you can only point to it. It's the reality that's left over when our chattering conceptual mind finally gets quiet. And that leaves all of us with an invitation, one that really echoes the Buddha's original silent response. What happens for you when you finally stop talking, stop analyzing, stop labeling, and just look?